Working in a restaurant can be very demanding. It is your Section 2. Product Knowledge. Food knowledge. When working in a restaurant, a professional waiter should always be confident in discussing the menu with customers. Customers will often ask for your recommendations when selecting from the menu. Therefore, being able to describe the ingredients and flavours of each dish and how the dish is prepared is essential in providing excellent service. The main component of the dish is generally meat or fish. Therefore, it is meat. Meat is an important part of any menu. It is important to be aware of different types and cuts of meat you may be serving to your customers. The meat we eat comes from a variety of different animals, the most popular types being beef, cow, pork, pig, lamb and poultry. However, there are many other options that occasionally crop up, such as venison, deer, veal, calf, rabbit, duck and even ostrich. Meat is rich in nutrients and serves as a fabulous source of high-quality proteins. Red meat, such as beef or lamb, also contains high quantities of iron. Meat. Play the video below to find out more about different types and cuts of meat. The meat from a sheep that is less than 1 year old is called lamb. This meat generally is more tender than that from older sheep and appears regularly on restaurant menus. Common cuts of lamb found on menus include lamb shank, lamb rump and rack of lamb. A rack of lamb is the name given to the rib section of the lamb. A tender and flavoursome cut, it is also expensive and it is suitable for dry heat cooking such as roasting or grilling. Racks are often Frenched, which means that the upper ends of the rib bones are scraped clean of meat and fat, thereby exposing the bones. Once Frenched, it can be used to create a crown, where two racks are tied together to form a circle. Lamb shank comes from the lower end of the leg. It has become very popular in recent years, especially when braised and the whole shank with bone is served per person. It is lean and economical, and if cooked properly, is a very tender and succulent cut of meat. Another common cut of meat found on menus is lamb rump. It is a tender piece of meat that comes from the top back of the animal and is commonly roasted to ensure meat is not tough. Pork is the culinary name for meat from the domestic pig. Pork is eaten in various forms, including gammon, bacon or pancetta. It is also a common ingredient of sausages. A pork chop is a cut of meat cut perpendicularly to the spine of the pig and usually containing a rib or part of a vertebra. Pork chops are popular cuts of meat from a pig and come in a variety of shapes and sizes. They can be prepared a number of different ways and can be sliced thin or cooked thick. One of the most popular pork chops is the centre cut or pork loin chop. It includes a large T-shaped bone and structurally is similar to the beef T-bone steak. Pork belly is the meat derived from the belly of a pig. It has previously been an underrated cut of meat in the UK, but is becoming more and more popular on restaurant menus. It may be described as a fatty sweet meat and is usually cooked slowly and often marinated or braised. The layer of fat on this particular cut keeps the meat really moist as it roasts and also gives you an incredible even layer of delicious crackling. Pork fillet comes from the tenderloin muscle of the pig. It is a very tender piece of meat with little fat and a robust flavour. It is often grilled or char-grilled. Poultry is the category of domesticated birds which are reared for their eggs or meat. The meatiest parts of a bird are the flight muscles on its chest, called breast meat, and the walking muscles on the first and second segments of its legs, called thigh and drumstick respectively. 3 types of poultry commonly found on restaurant menus are chicken, turkey and duck. Chicken breast in particular is a very popular and versatile meat. It has a subtle flavour and can be grilled, char-grilled, stir-fried or roasted. Corn-fed chicken is a term often found on restaurant menus. Corn-fed chickens have yellow flesh and are widely considered to have more flavour than birds fed on fish meal or soya. Spatchcock poussin specifically refers to the method in which the chicken has been prepared for roasting or grilling by flattening the chicken to allow it to cook faster and more evenly. Duck meat is notably different in appearance to chicken. It is derived primarily from the breasts and legs of ducks. The meat is rich and dark with a strong flavour. A term commonly found on menus is magret. This refers specifically to the breasts of a mallard or Barbary duck. Although normally associated with Thanksgiving or Christmas, turkey is another meat that is becoming more common on restaurant menus. Similar to chicken, turkey is quite a lean meat and is often considered as a healthier alternative to other meats. Beef is the culinary name for meat from bovines, especially domestic cattle, cows. Most beef comes from steers, young castrated male cattle aged around 18 months old. As with most large animals, different parts of the animal are more suitable for different types of cooking methods. Beef is full of flavour, as well as being a good source of high-quality protein, iron and B vitamins. The wide range of cuts available, from expensive sirloin steak to the much more affordable brisket, means it's very versatile. It is traditionally considered the classic cut of meat for a British Sunday roast. The fillet comes from the tenderloin of the animal. It is the most tender cut of beef and is the most expensive. It contains little fat and is ideal for grilling or pan frying. Sirloin steak is a very popular steak that is ideal for grilling. It comes from the hip and has more fat content, which gives a stronger flavour. Another popular cut of beef is ribeye steak. Ribeye steak is from the beef rib and is a tender cut of meat. It tends to be well marbled, and it is this fat that makes the steak more flavoursome. Fish. In response to consumer demand for healthier eating options, fish is often the main feature on the menu of many restaurants. There are over 2,100 different species of fish, including fresh and saltwater species, as well as shellfish varieties, often referred to as crustacean. Fish is rich in vitamins, nutrients and essential oils vital to a healthy diet. Fish. Click on the corner of the book to find information on some of the most popular fish and crustaceans commonly used in restaurants today. Fish. Haddock. Smaller member of cod family. Not as flaky as cod and has a sweeter taste. Low in oiliness. Caught in UK, Faroe Islands. Sea bass. Sea bass is also known as sea dace. Like white-fleshed salmon. Delicate flavour. Found in the Atlantic Ocean. Salmon. Flaky fish that can be quite oily. Can be eaten hot or cold. Smoked salmon is considered a delicacy. Caught in UK, Canada and Alaska. Herbs and spices. Herbs and spices are wonderful additions to any dish. It is hard to imagine what cooking would be like without the unique flavours provided by herbs, spices, and the many seasonings available. For centuries, they have been an integral part of many cuisines around the world. Just think of chili con carne without the chili, or gingerbread without the ginger. Perhaps you have recently enjoyed a cup of relaxing chamomile tea, or savoured a delicious rack of lamb with rosemary. All of these things make us realise the importance of herbs and spices in contributing to enjoyment of food. Herbs. Herbs are green and leafy plants grown in temperate climates. For thousands of years they have been added to dishes, used as perfumes, remedies, and even as currency. Today, herbs are more commonly used to add depth and flavour to dishes, and they are at their best when they are young and freshly picked. Click on the pictures below to learn more about herbs. Oregano. Dark green leaves, slightly peppery in flavour, pungent and good for relieving diarrhea, often used in Italian dishes and is the same as marjoram, but marjoram comes from Britain instead of Italy. Mustard. A small, cress-like plant, the most commonly used part is the seed from the plants. There are 3 types: black, brown and white. Mustard seeds have a hot, savoury flavour, with the black seeds being the most pungent. Brown seeds less so, and the white seed is the least strong. Thyme. Leaves are grey-green, very small and long oval. 2 types are lemon thyme and caraway garden thyme. The first, as the name suggests, has a distinct lemony aroma, and the latter a distinct smoky aroma, strong and warmly aromatic. Rosemary. Leaves are dark green and white underneath, and are used fresh or dried with all kinds of meat. Strong, pungent aroma which can banish catarrh. Dill. Green, linear, thread-like leaves often kept on the stem when used. Often used as a garnish or in fish dishes, married with salmon, its fragrance is distinctive, floral and aromatic. Coriander. The leaves are bright green and feathery. The seeds and leaves are often used in cooking. As the seeds mature, they smell pleasantly of oranges, and when added to food, coriander gives a spicy curry flavour. Chives. Probably among the best known of all herbs, the leaves are tall, hollow, grey-green and rush-like. Used whole or chopped, it adds a delicate onion flavour. Basil. Fresh green leaves from this plant can be used fresh or dried, and are normally married with egg, tomatoes, chicken and sausages. Pungently aromatic with hints of cloves. Fennel. Creamy white root, thread-like and feathery leaves. Fresh or dried leaves are used with fish dishes normally. Seeds can also be used, and we eat the root and stems as a vegetable. All parts of the plant are strongly aromatic with a taste of aniseed. Spices. Spices are fragrant, aromatic plants grown in more tropical climates. For centuries they have been an integral part of many of the world's great cuisines. Today, when spices cost so little, it seems unbelievable that they were once a royal luxury, and that men were willing to risk their lives in quest of them. To many of us now, they simply allow us the ability to have more varied, tasty and interesting food. Click on the pictures below to learn more about spices. Cardamom. White, green or cayenne. The red powder commercially sold as chili. Long berry-like fruit. Cinnamon. Dried pale brown inner. Cumin. Small dry seed. 5 spice. Native to China. Ginger. Bulbous knobbed root, dark brown. Lemongrass. Similar in appearance to a paprika. Finely ground powder. Tamarind. Indian date. Turmeric. Turmeric comes from Vanilla pod. A flavouring derived. Saffron. Saffron comes from the orange-red stigmas of a violet. Desserts. Dessert is a course that typically comes at the end of a meal. Dessert usually consists of a sweet dish such as cakes, pies, tarts, pastries or ice cream. However, fruit, cheese and nuts are also popular as a final course. Desserts should be easy to sell. The best way to do this is to give a mouth-watering description, so use your knowledge and your enthusiasm to sell them to your customers. Click on the pictures below to find out more about the most common desserts. Pies and tarts are both made from pastry. A pie is made of a pastry dough shell that covers or completely contains a filling of various sweet or savoury ingredients, while a tart will usually have an open top, not covered in pastry. Both can be a variety of sizes, ranging from bite-size to large ones designed for multiple servings. Common pies and tarts found on a restaurant menu include banoffee pie, apple pie, lemon meringue pie, treacle tart or lemon tart. Cakes are typically sweet baked desserts. They normally contain a combination of flour, sugar, eggs and butter or oil. In addition, flavourful ingredients like fruit purees, nuts or extracts are often added. Cakes are often filled with fruit preserves or pastry cream, iced with buttercream or other icings, and decorated with marzipan, piped borders or candied fruit. Cake is often the dessert of choice for occasions, particularly weddings, anniversaries and birthdays. A pudding is any of several foods whose common characteristic is a relatively soft, spongy and thick texture. In the UK, pudding also often refers to a dessert, but may also refer to a savoury dish. There are hundreds of variations of sweet puddings, including bread and butter pudding, Christmas pudding, sticky toffee pudding, creme brulee, mousse, panna cotta and trifle. Ice cream is a frozen dessert usually made from dairy products such as milk and cream, and often combined with fruits or other ingredients and flavours. The meaning of the term ice cream varies from one country to another. Terms like frozen custard, frozen yogurt, sorbet, gelato, and others are used to distinguish different varieties and styles. Cooking methods. As well as knowing about the food you are serving, there are certain cooking methods that you should also be aware of in order to fully understand your menu. Click the buttons below to find out more about different cooking methods. In an oven. Baked. Cooked dry in an oven. Roasted. Cooked in an oven with oil or own juices. Pan roasted. Sealed in a pan and then finished in the oven to ensure food does not become crisp. Marinated. Food is left to soak in a mix of ingredients prior to cooking to tenderize the food and add flavor. In a pot. Braised. Cooked in a tightly covered vessel in a small amount of liquid at a low heat for a long period. Allows meat to tenderize. Steamed. Cooked over boiling water in a covered pan, which retains the taste and texture of the food. Poached. Simmered in liquid just below boiling point. In a frying pan. Seared. Surface of the meat or fish is browned quickly over an intense heat. Helps retain juices when cooking. Pan-fried. Cooked for a short time in a frying pan with a small amount of fat. Caramelized. The process of browning food with natural or added sugar to caramelize and intensify flavor. Under a grill. Grilled. Food is placed under a grill with no oil or butter. Char-grilled. Cooked until blackened on a griddle pan to give the taste and texture of a barbecue product.